Welcome back to Northwest Elite Spirit, the channel you come to train your mind, body, and spirit. I'm Coach Brian. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do that now. This is The Illusion of Limitation. This is coming from the book Journey to Ixtlan by Carlos Castaneda, from the chapter The Sorcerer's Ring of Power. If you're unaware of the Sorcerer's Ring of Power, you can go back and listen to that chapter from the last video I made on this book, and to get really well acquainted with it all, you can listen to the whole book. This is the last chapter, so this will be my last review of this book. And to sum it up, the Sorcerer's Ring of Power is an extension of the Ring of Power. And the Ring of Power is kind of, you can describe it almost like the Matrix. You have this box that you operate in, or this container that you operate in that expresses power over you, and you have power in it somewhat. And it's the description of the world, and the way the world operates around you would be your ring of power. The influence the world has on you and the influence you have on the world, but in this really strict definition of how things work in the world. And the Sorcerer's Ring of Power is a ring of power that expands beyond all that. When a man or woman or a person starts expressing their own power beyond the confines of these dictates and of these definitions and of these systems that have been set for us. So the first thing we can talk about is the power of intent, and how our intention should be the driving force behind our actions. If our actions don't line up with our intent, we go nowhere. And this matrix, or these systems, or the world can dictate to you not only what your intent should be, which may not align with your spirit, but once you are on this road and you have an intention and you start working towards it, the world can distract your actions from your intent, and you can get sidetracked and not come anywhere near your potential. But when our actions are aligned with our intent, the outcomes can be extraordinary. We can perform things outside of the box or beyond what we or the people around us thought was capable for us. We can also begin to cultivate a deeper awareness about the world around us. Again, the people and the systems will have you focused on what they think you should be doing, or how they define the world for you. But if you begin to focus and actually watch the world around you, you may notice that things aren't as they appear. And through this awareness, you see more possibilities and more paths that you can take, and more tools and personal power that you can use towards expanding your own, growing your own ring of power, or your own ring of influence, not only on the world around you, but within yourself. And as far as the illusion of limitation, we have these thoughts about ourselves that we can only do this, or we can only do that, and I'm only good at this and I'm not good at that. But if we begin to challenge these assumptions about ourselves and about the world around us, we can begin to notice that we are actually far more capable than what we thought. And if we begin to challenge the assumptions that have been given to us from others, and examining whether these assumptions or these beliefs are ours or have been given to us, we can begin to break those barriers down and achieve the things that we thought were impossible. And this will begin you on a journey of self-discovery. So when you start challenging the assumptions of the world, or the guidelines and definitions of the world. And when you begin to challenge your own assumptions and your own guidelines and your own systems that you've developed in reaction to the things around you, you begin to come closer to the reality of what's going on around you, and it will free you up. Seeing things how they truly are, or at least beginning to see things how they truly are, will free you up and allow you to operate more freely on this journey of self-discovery. And at the same time, you will begin to embrace the paradox of the world. So there is these systems in the world that do express power over you, and they are very strong. And there are these worldly beliefs that express power over you, and they are very strong. And you even have your own beliefs and your own systems that you've built that express power over you. And as you begin to practice these new ways of thinking and these new ways of looking at things, you will see that you can operate in this new way, and that you also operate in this old way, and they're not actually separate from one another so much. There is a world to be challenged, and there is the ability to challenge that world. And you may even notice that though you begin to challenge the old way, your old ways, you have something within you that will try and bring you back in line with like the way you used to think, and the way you used to do things, and the way that the world wants you to do things. And so there are powers at play on both sides. And ultimately, we have to align our intent with our actions, and not only our actions but our energy. If we have a certain intent, so you're out in the world and you're acting towards your intent, but it can be easy to get distracted. It can be easy for something else to come along and tap into your energy and sap your energy away from your intent because you became distracted. And a huge part of that is discipline. Reminding yourself, asking yourself, is this in line with my intent? Yes or no? And the discipline part comes from, if it is a no, you cut that off. You are not taking part in anything that distracts from or takes energy from your personal intent. And through this, we'll break through those layers of the matrix, or the worldly ring of power, or our old ring of power, and we'll begin to expand and grow our own personal ring of power and begin to influence the world in a way that is more in line and more beneficial for what we want for ourselves. Once again, I'm Coach Brian with Northwest Elite Spirit, the channel you come to train your mind, body, and spirit. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, of course, do that now. If you liked this series on Journey to Ixtlan, hit the like button. If you found it interesting or have your own thoughts, comment below. If you know people who might also be interested in these lessons, hit the share button. As always, practice. For access to my suggested library, my blog, Northwest Elite Spirit merchandise, and to sign on to be trained by me personally online, go to northwestelitespirit.com. As always, thank you.